Hello, and welcome back to Curlington Stories. If you're new here, welcome to you too. Today, both stories are going to be about some intimate family drama, a little bit of social issue mixed in. The first one involves a very insensitive child who said some insensitive things that were racially charged to somebody else, and her mother was not happy about it and administered some very severe punishments. Not physical punishments, but punishments of a variety, which we'll see in just a moment. The second story is a deep, deep one. It starts off very simple with a stepmother who thinks that the stepfather in this situation is treating her children unfairly and is prioritizing his own child over hers. What you'll learn quickly in this story is that may not be what is happening at all, but I'll let you be the judge of that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Am I the asshole for making my daughter miss once in a lifetime event, homecoming and senior prom, and delete all of her social media as punishment for bullying? Now, I know that verdict there might surprise you. It says not the a-hole. After you get all the context, you might just agree. Yesterday, I was informed that my daughter Sam was part of a group of students who bullied another girl to the point that she had to switch schools. There was a racial aspect to the bullying, which came as a complete shock since my wife and I truly did our best to raise our three kids to be kind and honest individuals. I don't believe that a grounding and a confiscation of electronics is harsh enough for what Sam did. So I told Sam that she won't be allowed to participate in homecoming and attend senior prom. I also told her that she won't be getting a car for her 18th birthday either. Finally, I told her that she'll have to delete all of her social media accounts with either me or her mother watching. Sam begged me to allow her to go to senior prom because it's a once in a lifetime event, and keep just her Instagram account because it had pictures going back years that weren't saved anywhere else. I told her that she shouldn't have been a racist bully. Parents are temporarily staying with us while their house is undergoing renovations. They agree that what Sam did was completely out of line and must be punished. They think that making my daughter miss homecoming and senior prom and forcing her to delete her social media is far, far too harsh. Now, I'm not a parent yet, so, I don't fully grasp the concept of punishment, right, to the fullest. I've never been there, never done that. So it's kind of hard for me to judge here, like, if this is too far or not. I do have the experience of, being somebody who's been racially targeted before, right? I understand that. I get that sort of thing. Happened to me all the time when I was younger. It was a very, very, very common thing. So I can relate on that level and kind of, give my opinion based on my own anecdotal experience. Personally, I think, children, kids, even though she's like approaching being an adult, are prone to making certain mistakes and things like that, doing things without really thinking about it. Give you guys an example. One of my best friends, who was actually a groomsman at my wedding last year, when we hung out with him and his friends, all white, there was this little bit of like racism happening to me, which was the first time that it's ever come from this friend, that's for certain. It was a little jarring, to say the least, and it had something to do with the fact that these other friends were also very insensitive, and kids a lot of times are kind of prone to go along with, what's popular in the moment, even if it's like them acting in ways that they don't normally do. But again, this was way younger than, like, clearly she's almost like 18, if not 18 already. So this is less excusable for her, but more excusable for him, in my opinion. But this dude literally held up a lighter to me and said that he was lynching me. Yeah, Still one of my best friends to this day. But point is, obviously he was a child at the time and didn't really understand the gravity of what he was doing. Obviously, he apologized for that and realized, wait a second, I'm a piece of shit. But we moved on. Unimportant. Anyway, the whole point of me explaining this was, I know that there was no deep-rooted racism in this kid at all, right? My friend here, he's not a racist person. There was just something that overcame him in the presence of these other racially insensitive children that kind of made him act like a dumbass. Now, in her case, I feel it's significantly less excusable because she's much older. You should know better, especially if your parents have taught you in a way to not act like this. And clearly they have. I mean, they wouldn't be laying down such a severe punishment if they hadn't made these efforts to make sure that their kid was sensitive to other people. You know, maybe they didn't do the whole racial sensitivity thing carefully, didn't navigate that carefully. That's a possibility. I'm not making excuses for her. There are none. She should have known better. This was an incorrect thing to do. What I'm trying to judge here, first off, the person's not an asshole for, you know, trying to lay down an appropriate punishment. I personally think that it might be just a little too much. You know, I understand wanting to, you know, lay down this harsh lesson, and in order to do so, you have to be harsh. You know, I think making her delete all her social media and not getting her a car for her 18th birthday, I feel like that alone is plenty. Or, you know, like, I just feel like some of these things might be able to be taken out. Like, maybe, you know, she probably doesn't deserve the car right away. You know, she probably got to earn that back. But the senior prom, I feel like making her miss homecoming, fine. But the senior prom is so far down the line. I feel like they're probably going to change their minds about that anyway. And I feel like that would be, you know, as somebody, like I said, who's been racially targeted before, I personally feel like these other things would be more than enough for her to learn her fucking lesson, period. But hey, I also want to, you know, acknowledge that these parents really do care clearly about what she did and correcting it, and that is a wonderful thing to see. Because, you know, some parents would just brush it off like, I don't care, you know, like, or, you know, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, you're grounded for 6 hours or something, like, not really take it seriously, but like, oh, don't do that again, like, things that just aren't enough to really correct the behavior. And it is a nice thing to see, like, that they are willing to lay down a seriously harsh punishment to correct this behavior. Like, that puts a smile on my face. Is it too harsh? I think so. I think you can dial back some of these things, you know, but they bullied this girl to the point where she had to switch schools. Like, there's a point where obviously where she's doing this, she has to realize that what she's doing is severely wrong, but I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. We're going to read a couple of the comments, but I want to know more so what you guys have to say about this. So this comment here, Hooper intendant, not the asshole. This seems appropriate for the level of offense here, especially the deletion of social media accounts. That said, there's a chance to teach the idea of repentance and redemption. I'm assuming you are in the US or Canada. I don't think homecoming is a thing elsewhere, so I feel good about the assumption. The school year is just about to start and prom isn't until late April/early May. Create a plan of restorative actions she can take to earn back prom. These actions can include volunteer service, befriending someone who is an outcast at their school. I don't know why it's crossed out. Cultural sensitivity classes, and if possible, something that can positively impact the girl she bullied. Also, giving her something to earn back like that lets her have a positive focus for the year. What she did was very wrong and needs to have consequences, but it can be an important learning opportunity too. Good luck. And this person here agrees, this is the way. Volunteering, bonus points if it's a big sister program and the kid is the race of the girl she bullied. If that's not exactly possible, volunteering for anyone less fortunate usually gives a swift kick of humility. This person says, I wouldn't want the kid to have to endure a big sis who's a racist bully. No way. See, the thing is with like racism, it's typically a learned behavior. So, you know, I get this inkling that she definitely didn't get it from her parents, but perhaps this group of friends, which it sucks because again, she should know better. I don't know about the big sis thing either. I didn't really think about that, but I just don't know if this person has like, if she has like a deep rooted racism or if she was just an insensitive idiot in the moment. I really don't know, but bullying this person to the point where she switched schools kind of indicates that this went on for a prolonged period of time. It wasn't like a one-stop shop incident. Like, it seems like this has happened in many sessions, which means she had many opportunities to realize what she was doing was wrong. Now, I think the restorative, you know, earning back these things idea, I think is valid. She should have to basically go to tolerance boot camp, if you will, you know, learn the basics of tolerance and racial sensitivity and all of that, and just not being a bully. You know, she needs to learn that lesson. This is a teachable moment. And obviously those actions that she did definitely need appropriate consequences, but she shouldn't just be completely screwed without any way of redeeming herself. That's my opinion. Be sure to let me know yours in the comments. Now, this one is a long one and it is a wild ride, so be prepared for that. And it's a two-parter with a big update. Will I be the asshole if I took my son and his friends out for his birthday party instead of my wife and stepdaughters? I am 42, have 3 kids. A son, Isaac, 12, almost 13, with my ex who is no longer in the picture, and twin stepdaughters from my wife's previous relationship, Emma and Ava, 7. Isaac's 13th birthday is coming up next week, and he said that he wants to go to the movies and asked if he could bring 2 friends along. I agreed, and we planned a day out of fun, arcade, pizza, and a movie. These were all activities I know that my son and his friends, nerdy middle school boys, would enjoy. When I told my wife about our plans, she suggested that we should have a family outing instead. I proposed a local kiddie play place that my stepdaughters apparently love. I said that Isaac and his friends would be very disappointed and that he wouldn't have fun at the kiddie play place. She tried to convince me that Isaac could still have fun because there was an arcade, 2 claw machines, a pinball table, and a small DDR machine. She also said that since he sees his friends at school every day, family time should be prioritized over friends. I told her that it was unfair to force Isaac to spend his birthday at a kiddie play place instead of with his friends. She accused me of favoritism and of not loving my stepdaughters as much as Isaac. This hit me pretty hard because I grew up with a stepfather who neglected me in favor of his own kids, and I've been trying my hardest to be the father figure I never had. I've been spiraling down a rabbit hole of doubt about my own choices, and for the sake of my own sanity, will I be the asshole? Well, my answer to this is absolutely not. There is no reason that your son should have to spend his birthday party not with his friends and at somewhere where he's not going to get enjoyment. He's much older, 5 years older than these 2 girls. His interests are going to be different. He's made it clear what he wanted to do, what would be fun for him, and he should be able to celebrate his birthday. I feel like that is a no-brainer. If you guys want to do this family day thing, you can just do it on a different day. Let him have his birthday fun. I don't even understand like how this could be even a controversy in this relationship, how this could even be an issue, a problem. You know, it's confusing. Like, I truly at this stage don't understand it. However, after reading the update, it all becomes significantly clearer, which you'll see in just a moment. First of all, I just want to thank everyone who commented on my last post for opening my eyes. Folks said that there was more to my wife, who I'll be calling Erica, than I knew. Y'all said I should talk to my son about what went on behind my back, and I did. I regret not doing so earlier. Yesterday, my son had the day off school, teacher prep day, I think. I took the day off work. After Erica left to go to her job and drive the girls to school, I sat my son down and starting gently, I asked him about what Erica was like when I wasn't around. I work pretty late, so this was fairly often. At first, he was vague and hesitated to say anything bad about her. It set me on high alert, as it reminded me vividly of a similar conversation from my own childhood, and I assured him that he could be truthful with me. After some reassurance, he finally started talking about what she was really like. Here is a not comprehensive list of things he told me about. He was not allowed to go to his friend's house down the street. I allow this normally as we've known the family for years. He was berated and yelled at for spending time alone in his room. He was berated and yelled at for not playing with the twins. He was made to watch the twins while Erica ran errands. She was often gone for hours. He was told that I would be angry with him if he didn't obey her or spoke badly of her to me. I again reassured him that I was not angry or upset with him. Needless to say, it was an emotional conversation, feeling very guilty that this all happened under my nose, blown away that the woman I thought was the love of my life could do that to my son. I married a woman who is just like my stepfather, and I don't know how to come to terms with this. We went out to lunch to wind down and spend some more quality time together. When we got back, I had him pack a suitcase in case we had to leave. I also packed a suitcase. I was so furious with Erica. I never wanted to see her again. More importantly, never wanted her in the same house as my son. Erica arrived home with the twins and was shocked to see me waiting for her at the table. I sent the twins to their rooms. My son was already standing by in his own and gestured for her to sit down. He confronted her about her treatment of my son. At first, she tried to say that he was making things up for attention, that he was jealous of the twins for getting some of my love. I shut her down. She then pivoted to he's older, so he needs to sacrifice for his younger sister's angle, which I also shut down. As a last-ditch effort, she again accused me of not loving the twins. I got really angry at her then because, as you all pointed out, she was using my childhood trauma to manipulate me. In the end, she admitted to favoring her daughters, but said that it wasn't wrong because every mother has her own kid's best interests at heart, and why would I care about a kid who isn't mine? My blood ran ice cold. I texted my son to get his suitcase and get to the car. Calmly told her that she could expect to be contacted by a divorce lawyer soon. I'm staying with my son in a hotel right now and looking at apartments, divorce lawyers, and child therapists in our area. I'm angry, I'm sad. Mostly I'm disappointed in myself for letting it go on for so long. I hope my son can forgive me one day, and even though I'm sure I don't deserve it. I wish the best for your daughters, but screw you, Erica. So he already kind of talked about some of the comments, summarized them quite a bit. So we're not gonna go and look at the comments, especially since the original post is gone. This was a repost because the original post was deleted by Reddit for some reason. I really don't know. But I will obviously give my thoughts on this. Obviously, this person, not an asshole, his soon-to-be ex-wife, absolute lunatic. It's such a disappointing behavior to see out of step parents. I mean, I know it's not extremely uncommon. There are a lot of step parents that feel that way about their partner's children, you know, that they don't really care about them to the same way they care about their own like full children, which is extremely backwards. Like when you get into a marriage with someone and if they already have kids, you should treat those kids as if they are your own, because at that point they are. You're married to this person. Those are your stepchildren. They are your children, regardless of if they're your blood or not. That doesn't matter. But for some reason, there's these people that like cannot understand that. They're willing to ruin what was otherwise a happy marriage because they want to reject these other children because they can't get over their own ego or something like that. I really don't know what it is, but I get it. It's just like this hatred or something for like, oh, that's not my child. That child was birthed from a different mother. Like, who fucking cares? It's not that kid's fault, and this marriage or whatever happened, or this relationship happened before this person even knew you existed. That is not a reason to resent someone or resent their child, nothing like that. And she as well also had kids from a different father before meeting him. So it's like, she should understand better than anyone else. Like, you might be able to give them the benefit of the doubt if there's somebody who didn't have their own kids and they got into a relation with someone they already did, but it's not something you should also take into consideration. You know, if you feel that way because, oh, this person had these kids with a different woman or whatever, and it's like, fine, you know, you can feel that way, but it's still incorrect. It's still wrong. And if you feel that way, then you shouldn't get into a committed relationship with somebody that obviously has these children. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're just going to resent these kids the entire time you are with this person. If you're not ready to commit to this relationship and love these children as your own, then don't get involved, because more times than not, it's always going to turn out to something like this, or with these children growing up and absolutely hating you and you hating them, and that sucks. So this was absolutely the correct thing to do. It's sad that, you know, this ended in divorce, but, you know, I'm really proud of the father in the situation for standing up for his kids, standing up for himself, and seeing the red flags and making prompt moves to get himself and his kids out of that situation. She said that, why should I care about a kid that isn't mine while expecting him to do the same thing? It's so unbelievably hypocritical and manipulative. Like, it's baffling to me that somebody could think this way and not even see their wrongs. But, you know, I wish the absolute best for the twins, for him, for the son, and for her. You know, good luck. Anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you did enjoy, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. Oh, before you go, since I haven't done this on this channel yet, if you like stories, I write stories. I don't just read them. If you're into horror, mystery, thriller, that kind of stuff, I have a book called The Elevator Man. I think I still have a few copies around. So if somebody wants to purchase one with my lovely illegible signature on it, let me know in the comments and I will send you my email where you can contact me to get yourself a copy. Otherwise, you can just buy it on Amazon. Link should be in the description. All right, guys, see you next time.